Buenas and happy day, everyone. Naan ho si Gabriela Ines de Lyle Diaz, estudiante do University of Guam, sa Manila, Guam. And I'm currently spending my Tuesday afternoon at in a village called Tumon, and I'm currently at Ipao Beach. This is a beach called Ipao, and I wanted to take a little bit of time in this week's video to talk about a little bit about what I'm learning in some of my Chamorro Studies classes at the UOG and how this is related to spaces like these in which, as you can see, there's not a lot of Native people. I'm battling a little bit of a sore throat. I've been doing a lot of field work for my soil science class, and it's been really exciting being out in the field and getting dirty and working with soil. I'll talk a little bit about that later in this video for this week, but I guess I can really start out by saying I'm definitely at a point in this semester where a lot of the things that I'm learning in my classes at the UOG, especially my Chamorro Studies classes and especially my soil science classes, so therefore all of my classes this semester are really meshing well with what I've been learning at my home campus as an American Indian Studies student and as an environmental geoscience minor, but also my personal interests and my passions. And all in all, they're all together really providing me with really great ways for thinking and understanding things. I guess with that, just as importantly as what I'm receiving in the classroom and my experiences with my classmates and in class discussions, for instance, like we've been reading a lot of post-colonial literary theory in my literature class. My literature is from Guam, Micronesia, and the Pacific, and we're looking at Chamorro history, and I'm taking Chamorro language classes. So altogether, those are really valuable things that I'm getting in the classroom. But again, like I said, I'm also at a point where not only are things aligning with some of the previous classes and coursework I'm taking and things that intrigue me and things that are interesting to me, but I'm seeing some of this coursework that I'm receiving, some of the content that I'm learning about, I'm seeing that in real life now that I'm back home and I'm on Guam. And Guam is, it's a US territory, it's a US colony without sovereignty. And I'm gonna try as best as I can to summarize this for this week's video. So I remember really clearly before I left for Guam, taking the required National Student Exchange in University of Minnesota's, their study abroad departments, their prep course or their orientation, whatever you wanna call it. And I remember listening to lectures on adjusting and coping with culture shock. And I remember honestly thinking, like, I'm going back home and I come here every other year to visit my family and really not worrying about having to deal with culture shock at all because I'm so familiar with this place is home to me. But I remember when I think back on it and I reflect on it now that I'm actually living here and I'm taking classes here and I'm here, this is the first time I've been here for more than a month during the summer because I normally visit during the summertime. I'm seeing things that, things are really sticking out to me in my experiences outside of the classroom and living off campus that maybe I never really was around enough to notice or really take in. Some of those things being just how normal military presence is on the island and how normalized military legacy has been, how it is here, how the military seems really ingrained into the natural landscape and how military is really heavily tied up into tourism and the tourist industry here. I've been thinking a lot about how whenever I was here in the past and without the American Indian Studies coursework and the Chamorro Studies classes I'm taking here, I wouldn't have ever thought about how urgent language revitalization for the Chamorro language is and how there are so many efforts to pass down the language to the youth community members and our community and keep that going. Even the trivial tasks that come with preparing for my field work and my field trips for soil science, whether that's, like getting ready in the morning, slathering myself in mosquito repellent, and preparing for field work and bringing everything I need, actually getting soil under my fingertips and getting dirty and coming home really dirty and smelling like the jungle. It's really working with the land in that way, especially with what I'm learning behind me and informing how I engage and I interact with my own land. It creates a really nice understanding, and I'm appreciating being back home in a way that I've never appreciated before with the help and the guidance of the things that I'm learning in my classes at the UOG. So I guess the best way that I can summarize this week's video until I can get a better grasp on some of this heavy content matter is that being back home has been especially rewarding and healing for me, given what I'm learning at the UOG. And I'd really like to end off on something that is really important, and as much as I'd like to say that it's really easy to be apolitical and just let loose and have fun when I'm back home, this is a part of really taking everything in and trying to make sense of it given the content that I'm learning in my coursework, really reconciling what it means to be back here given such a short amount of time this semester. It's impossible to be apolitical, and it's impossible to live and function on a daily basis when your lands and even your ancestral remains are at the risk of being excavated inadvertently in preparation for military needs. So again, I think I'd like to end off this week's vlog by bringing some attention to that, as this is an issue that's been really informing my way of thinking lately, and it's been in the news, and it's something that not a lot of people consider when they're here on Guam if they're not from here, or things that people don't consider when they're on someone else's land, whether that's for a semester or for a year or for a couple weeks or on vacation. And I wanted to take this opportunity to talk about this a little bit in this week's vlog. So I guess on that note, I'd like to wrap up this week's vlog. Sizuos Masi for watching, and I'll see you guys later.